But my boy, when you come back and it's been a year since certain people done seen you.
No way.
Come on.
I never thought about it.
So that's the thing about homecoming. Like when you graduate college, man, and you go on and you chasing these dreams and you doing all this, homecoming is on your calendar. All right, I'm gonna come back. Girl, you going to homecoming? Yeah, you come. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. And
it's almost like a flex.
It is for some.
Yeah.
Like because that's the one time if people been seeing you on Instagram or been seeing you working, that's when they can see you working.
Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it should be, what it would be. Cam Newton the Son, Mr. Boogie the All, here to give another episode of Funky Friday. And I promise to give you good content for the masses and I promise to always keep it funky for your asses. Today's guest is a HBCU guru, also the CEO of Yard Talk. I present to some and introduce to others, Jahliel Thurman.
What's up, Cam? What's up, my guy?
How you doing?
You know, now, Cam, you came in with that HBCU
Hold on. I already know where you're going. Because they already informed me that you got your intro too.
You know, I used to have an intro back in the day.
Let me see.
You know what I'm saying? Where we talk? Where we at? Where we at? Right here? Where we at?
Right here.
Right here. So
right
you know,
there.
back in the day when I used to be on the yard,
Okay.
I used to have a crowd behind me.
Okay.
And I used to hit them with a little bit, what's up? It's your boy, Jaleel. But you know, nowadays I try to tone it down a little bit, just say, hold on, what's up everyone and welcome. It's Jaleel, you know, but yeah, that's what it was back in the day, yeah.
See, here on Funky Friday, we don't need that cute shit. We need that real shit. So give the camera the real introduction back in the yard.
Oh, if we going back in the yard, I had to get it to him. Yo, what's up, world? It's your boy, Jaleel, and it's Yard Talk 101, all right? And we're going to give you the scoop on what's happening here on Funky Friday. It's your boy, Jaleel, and I'm here with Cam. Y'all know what it is. It's a show you don't want to miss.
Yeah.
That's what we doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
HBCU alumni, Virginia State.
Come on now,
Now,
building.
Now, listen. I have a list. I told you two. It's really about like 5 of them.
All right, let's roll.
That I really want to get down to the grits and, you know, meat and potatoes of the whole situation. Every time I talk to a person from HBCU, my first question is, what was your first normacy or everyday experience where you kind of was in a presence on a day in and day out basis of Caucasians? How old were you?
So interesting enough, you know, my family moved around a lot. I'm from Chicago, born and raised. We moved to a little suburb called Waukegan. Then we went to Wadsworth. Long story short, but I lived in Georgia for a short period of time. So
as a youth?
As a youth.
Okay.
So from 4th grade to 6th grade, we moved here. I was in Perimeter. In the perimeter area, so at Dunwoody.
Yes, sir.
And then we moved to Alpharetta. So at that point in time, that's probably in that point in my life where...
So from 4 to 6 years old?
4th to 6th grade.
4th to 6th grade, that's like 10?
Yeah, that's...
8 to 10?
Yeah, that's when that's all I knew.
Okay.
And then when we moved back to Chicago, I went to a school in a suburb called Evergreen Park. And 6th and 7th grade, that was the majority of what life looked like. So you can just say from 4th grade to 7th grade, that's what my life looked like on a day-to-day. To 8th grade.
7th through college.
It was spicy. It got spicy. That's because I went to...
Spicy is a synonym or meaning of...
Just anything, whatever you want it to be.
But you had
more
you had diversity.
Correct.
It wasn't just black.
Correct. So that was when it was more of Caucasian-based. But then when I went to high school, I went to a selective enrollment high school in the city of Chicago called Lindblom Math and Science. And it was that HBCU kind of now flavor of I'm around more of our kind and just having that vibe. Now, but at the school I was at, we still had some diversity in different areas. which is what I really loved and appreciated, because when you got to an HBCU, you still had diversity in different things. It may not necessarily be the color of your skin, but it was your thoughts, your minds, and your ideas.
It's the culture.
It was the culture.
Yes, sir. So as you navigate, for the consumer, and I always tell the guests that I'm not just speaking for or because of my negligence, I'm speaking because of the viewer, right?
Correct.
Speak to me what Yard Talk is.
So,
and how did it come about?
So, all right, you want the short story or the long story?
Man, we got time.
All right, then. So, look, go ahead, relax now. So, freshman year of college, I go to Virginia State. I'm just really trying to find my way. At first, I was a business major. Wasn't something I really wanted to do. They ended up talking to us about how like Tyler Perry went down, did some stuff with Virginia State, da-da-da. And I'm like, that's really my flavor. Like media, that's my thing. So I switched majors. I go through school, still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do.
Trying to find yourself.
Right, now as a mass comm major, that's not one of those accounting majors, that's not one of those business majors, that's not one of your engineer majors. So when I say that, that's not a major where you're gonna get a job right out of college.
Correct.
Where there's an opportunity just waiting on you to just get your degree. And so, we fast forward, I'm a senior in college, well, junior year, 2013 spring. There's a students on campus that die from off-campus organization due to hazing in the Appomattox River. Now, I was in student government.
Wow.
At this time, I was vice president. And I mean, your reaction to that you can only imagine what the reaction of the university was.
Right.
Because they was like, God dang.
That dude
like
died.
there's 3 students that from an organization we never heard of. It was off campus. They had them going through the Appomattox River, and it was one of them days where the river was fast and it swept them up.
So,
and I got you. Hold that. But so now at this point, I've been elected SGA president going into my senior year, and I'm trying to
president?
SGA president.
SGA president.
Yeah. So
okay.
trying to figure out how to keep the morale of our students high. You're going into the fall.
Right.
Cool. We get to the fall. I'm thinking we all right, okay.
Right.
Man, football team get into a brawl.
No way.
With Winston-Salem.
You got your hands full.
What? Stephen A is blasting us on ESPN because Stephen A went to Winston-Salem.
Okay.
So he like, man, Virginia, so of course he defending his school.
Correct.
So we losing there. There was a stabbing on campus. The media came and depicted us as thugs. Truly. Like
it's
legitimately.
World War III on campus.
World War III. And what I don't think people really understand is we still kids. Like, yeah, we're in college, but you're usually in college between 18 and maybe 22, 23. You still
finding yourself,
still being young-minded at the heart, whatever. So these things happen, and at that point, I was like, yo, I need to address the media. I said, because as SGA president, the morale on campus is, it's low. It's toxic. So how do I switch gears before we come back in the spring? So I gathered a couple poets. I'm a creative. So I was like, I don't want to just talk to them. I don't want to make some boring press conference. I ended up gathering some spoken word artists. And we were in the bottom of Foster Hall, so that's our student union.
Okay.
Black behind us. And I am addressing the media like, look, I know y'all think we this way, but we really not. And then I had the spoken word artists express themselves in the university's climate and who we really are.
So is this in the production format or is this live?
Nah, this was production.
Okay.
It was production format. We hit YouTube, hit it. Yo, the campus energy changed. I ended up doing an interview with Channel 12 about it, talked about it. And at that point, because your original question was how did Yard Talk 101 come about? At that moment, I said, there is someone that needs to tell our stories.
Yes, sir.
That needs to be the ones that can control our narrative.
Absolutely.
So I graduate, magna cum laude, do all that dumb cool stuff.
Hold on, you did what?
I graduated magna cum laude. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Just a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Just a little,
not too much.
Listen,
Yeah.
do not judge a book by its cover. That's what it's given.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I finished school and I'm working retail. Now, as a mass comm major, like I said earlier, there's nothing that is waiting on me. And I'm like talking to one of my frat brothers and he's like, yo, Lil, if you're gonna keep talking about this idea, do it or shut the hell up. So I'm like, all right, well, I like talking. I like the idea. I want to keep talking about it. So let me do it. And February 2015, man, that's when I created Yard Talk 101. And I literally started going to campuses with like a bootleg camera.
No way.
No mic. Like my first episode was on campus, no mic. So imagine wind, people walking, cars honking, like what, it didn't even matter, but it was the thought of, let me get out there, let me do it. And over the course of the last 7, going on 8 years, we went from, creating a digital series on campus, because I would give you the scoop on the yard. So I talked to you about Griggs, everything that was happening, to realize I'm doing marketing for the universities. And then over the years, I just built different relationships. So that's ultimately how we got started, from brawls on campus to, like we really good dudes, let me tell that story. Good young men, young women on these campuses, let me tell that story, to now having corporate relationships and different things and creating these impacts.
I love that. I think the thing where we have to understand is who we are can be our greatest asset or our greatest liability.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And for the people who understand it, they know the process of evolving.
Yeah.
To people who don't understand, it's like, oh shit, man, that's an Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
He cooning.
Yeah.
That nigga, he ain't da-da-da-da-da. But more or less, it's not. I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and I was telling them, I was like, listen, it's not changing what you say, is presenting it in a different way that's digestible to the audience.
Yep.
When I see people like Beyonce, when I see people like Jay-Z, when I see people like Drake, when I see people even like Kanye, when I see people like Cardi B, when I see people like Snoop Dogg is the perfect example.
Correct.
He never changed.
He just made it digestible.
He just made it digestible for the masses.
Yep.
And you go wherever you want to go.
And he's still Snoop.
He's still Snoop.
Yep.
He gonna be smoking or smelling like a pound of the finest marijuana that this earth has to provide. But he didn't change, he didn't switch up. I think for us, when people see this or hear this, I want them to realize, like, bro, are you evolving?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Because some do, some don't. You never stay in the same. Yeah. Some people either make that step. If you stay stagnant, you're losing a step. You see what I'm saying? So throughout that whole process, I know your loyalty is with Virginia State.
Definitely.
But my question is, who has the best HBCU experience that you can recall?
Man, that's a crazy question, because it's all experiences are different.
Correct.
Right? Now, I've been to a couple different homecomings, so I'll go from that perspective, right? I've been to the G-Ho. I've been to A&T homecoming. The tailgates is crazy. I've been to your small schools like a Claflin University that's in Orangeburg, South Carolina, that has a different experience because it's more of a small niche. Right. I've been to a Howard University on a Friday. I've been to FAM on a Fest Friday, or, the Set Friday.
Correct.
Man, I think that it's tough to answer that, because I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you one though. I'm just saying it's tough. I ain't gonna be that guy.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna be that guy.
Gotcha.
I can't be that guy.
Gotcha.
But when I'm looking at, if I'm not gonna be biased, right? So I'm gonna remove Virginia State out of that.
No, listen, because bro, we just.
What's up? Yeah, we
done crank up now.
Yeah.
We about to go down this cruise control and we gonna be all right.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm still buying time for you to keep thinking like, man, 2016,
I got
2019.
you. I've been to a couple yards. That's why I'm like, and the experiences have all been different. But if I had to pinpoint outside of my university, because my school is, to me, top tier, but that's anybody, right? That's how they gonna feel. I think when you have to look holistically of what you can get and what you can receive, I might have to give it to A&T.
North Carolina A&T?
I might have to.
Wow.
I might have to give it to A&T based on, I haven't been to all schools, so I can't speak on all the schools in the South, things like that. But when you look at, they're constantly rebuilding. So
rebuilding physically, or rebuilding
the infrastructure, like the school's infrastructure, and what they have to offer. I know they got the journalism program with the top-notch sound stuff. I mean, in media space, I know they got the agricultural things, and because their students' population grows, the money grows, and they're able to create this space and impact. And then they have the name, and then they stapled the G-Ho component of homecoming. So now, when you look at homecoming season, people want to travel to experience it. So that keeps your homecoming bubbling, lively, because, oh man, you might be like, yo, like for example, I know you went to Howard homecoming and you've been out there a little bit, and you might be like, man, I gotta go to G-Ho, because you heard G-Ho. And you want to just experience it
for the people
yourself.
So you're acronyming.
His greatest homecoming on earth is what A&T has labeled their homecoming. And so then you get your celebrities come back. And then the tailgate is crazy. And all these different things, because people are always coming back and it's always lively. And their pride is different. That also makes a difference for an HBCU. Everybody's level of pride is different. And so those at Howard, you know, they're gonna say HU, you know, they're gonna have a Hampton thing, but then at A&T, they're gonna have that Aggie pride. Like, so it's something that they really feel, you know, but if I had to give you a second runner-up, I'm gonna say FAMU.
Really?
I've been there on a set Friday that was stupid.
Retarded.
Stupid. And this was
ridiculous.
2016. Then I just did something this year with Coach at FAMU, and it was stupid. Stupid. and the one reason that also makes it crazy is the weather.
Yes, it's warm.
It's warm in
the
Tallahassee.
Homecoming season is usually like fall.
It's October. So you gonna get that sun. And then, for example, we was there, I seen DJ Envy walk by. I seen Jay Fonz walk by. I hosted something with Roxy. So now you getting all these different celebrities coming by.
The who's who.
And who's who's and the was and the highs, you know what I'm saying? And then it's Will Packer's amphitheater. You know what I'm saying? So now it's people that want to come by and see that, show him love and show him homage, you know? And so I think those different components make the experience.
I love that. Now, we cruising.
Come on now.
You dig?
I like cruise control.
I like where we at right now. Where haven't you gone?
Haven't I been? Man, I haven't been to Texas Southern. I haven't been to Jackson State. I have not been to, were you talking like those big schools? Those the first two to come to mind. I've never experienced Spell House. I've been, of course, on campus, but I never experienced Spell House or Clark Atlanta. I've been on Prairie View's campus for a meeting, but never experienced a homecoming. And I know PV gets spicy. You know?
I got some little tenure in Prairie View. Shout out to 290. You know, that's the highway it's on. I had to pass Prairie View every single time I was traveling from the airport to my junior college. And during the summertime, we would, you know, do like a little exhibition of 7-on-7, like their skill versus our skill with the JUCO. And yeah, I grew to like really appreciate Prairie View. You know what I'm saying? That football team at that time had kind of, you know, welcomed us. You know what I'm saying? It was on like, as alphas, like not the fraternity, but as alpha males, you know what I'm saying? You walk around and it's like, it's a stare off. You know what I'm saying?
What's up?
You good? You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, he's straight.
He cool. He all right.
So once we passed that,
it was love.
It was like,
love.
Hey, what y'all boys doing later on? You know what I'm saying? Y'all boys go shower up, blah, 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 come back, man. And then, so that's how I was. So with Prairie View, man, it was nothing but love there. And a lot of people don't really know how cultured I am. You know what I'm saying? I got a little bit of Texas in me. I got a little bit of Florida in me. I got you know what I'm saying, a lot of Alabama in me. Obviously, you know, doing a lot of work in North Carolinas or the Carolinas as a whole. So, you know, I'm a mutt, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the culture. And I appreciate that because I'm just not biased to Atlanta. You feel me?
You a little bit of everything.
Man, it's like, man, when I first went to JUCO, man, I started listening to doggone Lil Kiki and Bun B and Pimp C and, you know, just everything slowed down and chopped and screwed. And I was like, bro, this really ain't bad though. It really put you in a little trance where it's like, oh, I see that. Then at that time, man, Drake had came out with the Houston, Atlanta, Vegas.
Oh, man.
Man, that was just a time in my life,
the
man, that
time,
I just, man, bro, I just appreciate
But that's what
that.
you get at an HBCU too, though.
Correct.
So like anyone that I've talked to, like for example, I did an interview with DJ Envy, and Envy was just saying when he got to Hampton, he was like, man, my roommate was from like the West Coast. I never heard West Coast music. And then you get people from down south. And then you get, you know, he from New York, so he know that. But then you got people like Chicago, give you the Midwest. And so what you got was that melting pot of different people giving you
What you said, it was a spicy.
that little spicy. That's a little bit of this.
A little bit of cayenne. Don't forget the herb. Don't forget the dill. Don't forget.
And then when you stir it together, and your grandma had you taste the sauce, come on now. And that's exactly what the culture is.
So even to that, even, you know, we still cruising. You know what I'm saying? I think right now where the state of HBCU is, and even, you know, we're going to tap in with, you know, my experience.
Okay. Because I want to know what that was like for you.
I think, but for me, it's bias.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And really what I'm trying to do is bring exposure to all HBCUs.
Okay.
We know the Jackson States, obviously with Dion and Prime, the TSUs, Tennessee States, the FAMUs, the Howards, the Hamptons, the Clarks, you know, all those.
The household names.
The household names. But there's other schools that always get overlooked.
Always.
That, what about us? You see what I'm saying? So when people talk about homecoming and HBCU experiences, you know, my number one thing is always like, did you go to all of them? What is it like? Because if somebody gonna say, oh man, I went to so-and-so, you know, I went to Morgan State, bruh, they was in there.
Crazy. Morgan State get crazy though,
Just,
for what
you know
I
what I
heard.
mean? But I ain't never had no reason to go to Morgan State until like, bro, I heard that. Man, I'm gonna go check that out. So even with mine, you know, I said to myself, I was like, man, I'm in a very peculiar situation that I'm loving. You know, I ain't never really been able to spend my money, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just stacking up, you feel me? That was just a little hit and a little jab to y'all thinking that I'm broke. But needless to say, this whole year, I just really been traveling.
An experience.
I had the opportunity to go to Howard. My only regret was this.
Okay.
It's humble regret, visiting Howard. My brother wasn't with me. You know what I'm saying? Like my brother, like I was like, bro, you went to Howard. You know what I'm
that
saying?
That would have been a different nostalgia type.
Yeah, bro. Bruh, because I like this. I had a chaperone or a liaison, so to speak.
Okay.
Shout out to Inga Willis. And she was like, man, you know, you can't go to Howard without a person that, you know what I'm saying, that
could really
let you know, like, okay, cool, like this is what's happening here, this is what's happening there. I mean, you could do it. Obviously, a person who has influence can, you know, get access to the step shows.
But you need someone that got
correct.
And before you continue, it's because that's the HBCU culture. It's like every campus got that one person or couple people that got enough juice that can make a last minute audible.
Face card.
Oh no, that's come on. Are they with you? Don't matter. You Cam Newton, but if you ain't with some people, it don't even matter who you are.
Who you with?
You
know what I'm saying?
And that's what they gave you was that person with that face card. Because what that ultimately did for you was that changed your experience at Howard.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because if you just would have pulled up, it would have been cool because at certain schools like Howard, they used to seeing celebrities, top tip, walk through, athletes, whatever. But it's normal to some people. But then, you know, so it's like, okay, what up, Cam? All right, you know what I'm saying? Boom,
That's
boom.
Cam. Like,
that's Cam, all right, whatever.
But let's get back to
Let's get back to whatever. So you wouldn't get the access that you may have been expecting or thinking. So having that person with that face card, I know it did because I know how the HBCU culture is.
Correct. So for me, I'm like, man, I'm in a phase of my life, bro. I just want to be normal.
Chill.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to experience it. And it's hard to explain to people without sounding arrogant or like, but I'm not used to this. I'm not used to going to a football game and being in the stands. So when I'm at a football game, motherfucker, I'm going to scream until my lungs get sore. Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? And this whole experience, you know, when I visited Howard as well as North Carolina Central.
I know that was crazy.
I was like, bro, I need to see it. Like, where should I be? Where like, what's really popping?
Yeah.
And, you know, Howard was gorgeous. Central was gorgeous too. But I was like, wow, like me going to a PWI, a predominantly white institute in Auburn, as well as University of Florida, their homecoming experience.
Different.
It's like, it's 4 different elements.
Correct.
To a homecoming game.
Okay.
Right? And one of my good friends and a member of Iconic Saga kind of put me up on it. He was like, bro, you got to think about the actual football game.
Yep.
You got to think about the band.
Because they going to come with that thing.
You dig what I'm saying? You got to think about the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
And you got to think about the step team. And or the dancers or just, it's so many different elements.
And the tailgate.
The tailgate, right? So it's a whole game going on,
but it's so
and you don't
different.
even realize. Like, you could be at the game and be like, "Oh, girl, you look cute." Da 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 da. Oh man, oh yeah, bro, y'all do all y'all dances and steps and you know things, and then all of a sudden, hey, bro, what's the score? Hell, I don't know. Let's take a shot though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that type of thing where if you go to an Auburn game and their homecoming, that's the only focus is football. Yeah. You know, it may be senior day, so you may whatever. But at the end of the day, I was so mesmerized by just that element to things and didn't realize how much I was really missing as an adult. Like, bro, I'm 33 years old and these are firsts for me. You know what I'm saying? Going around homecoming, walking around the tailgates. And granted, like, you lose the masses because the university isn't as big as in Auburn, but it make up for it with the energy. The energy crazy. The energy there, man, you can't even stand in the middle of somewhere because you're gonna hear so many different, you got the Earth, Wind, and Fire playing over there with all the alumni and older alumni. Then you got RFE, let's go over the hill on this side. Then you got Nipsey Hussle over here. You got Lil Baby over there. Then it's just like so much. So you just gotta is doing their thing. Yeah, you gotta really choose a side. You know what I'm saying? And it's not saying that's a bad thing. It's just like, bro, it's really happening. I just love the fashion element to HBCUs.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Homecoming, HBCUs in general, you gonna be fashionable.
You gotta put it on.
You gotta put it on. But homecoming, you got to put it on.
I saw.
Because so like undergrads, that's what they gonna do what they normally do. But my boy, when you come back and it's been a year since certain people and seen you.
No way.
Come on.
I never thought about it.
So that's the thing about homecoming. Like, when you graduate college, man, and you go on and you chasing these dreams and you doing all this, homecoming is on your calendar. All right, I'm gonna come back. Girl, you going to homecoming? Yeah, you come. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. And
it's almost like a flex.
It is for some. Yeah. Like, because that's the one time if people been seeing you on Instagram or been seeing you working, that's when they can see you working. They see you in person.
They measure you by your aesthetic.
Yeah, or your energy, your aura. But a lot of times it's, man, I ain't seen these people, and it be people that did a transformation or whatever the case may be, man, they gonna come with that on. You coming back like, hey, what up? You know what I'm
Remember
saying?
me?
Remember me? Like, yeah. Or you gonna see your old things.
Yeah.
Like, girl, let me holler at you right quick. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
But you had that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So how do we get to really getting the exposure? What is the homecoming? Give me a plus and a minus. And the only reason why I really want you to mention the minus is really to make people aware where we have to grow from.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But how do we give more exposure to historical black universities as a whole?
I think honestly, man, it's authentically, truly caring. Right? When the pandemic happened, right, there was this, George Floyd, rest in peace, all these, and it was this, it was like, oh, for corporate America, oh, we got to be more inclined with the African American community and what they got going to HBCUs. And then now over the years that has kind of declined, dwindled because it ain't
right
in your face.
It wasn't a flagrant event in current news.
Correct.
That forced you to
That kind of
not turn an eye.
Correct. And so now it's make the real commitment, make the real belief that our universities add value to the world. Like some of the greatest people have come from HBCUs, and these HBCUs have their own unique stories, and everyone got different backgrounds. Earlier, you were talking about the different HBCUs and the household names. But to your point, Wiley College need a little love. You said you did some time in Texas.
Yes, sir.
Wiley's in Marshall, Texas. They need a little love. Paul Quinn is in Dallas. That's a smaller school. Or you got your Bowie State that's in Maryland.
Yes, sir.
Or a Harris Stowe, which is a small school in St. Louis.
Yes, sir.
But there's so many different schools that need that love and exposure of commitment more to than just a FAMU. More than just to a Spelman or a Morehouse, but to the HBCU community as whole. And I think when you do that and make a different type of commitment, it helps change the exposure game for all of them.
Now, the negative about it, as far as for us or the alumni, just dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is, now I'm not expecting guys to pour into 2 million, 6 million, 16 million, even though that would be good. I'm only speaking because I seen it.
Yeah.
Right? The question was asked to me, Cam, you from Atlanta, why didn't you go to Clark? And I say to myself, I seen Clark's weight room.
And that's what it was.
And I seen Alabama's, University of Florida, University of Texas, all these premier Power 5 schools.
Yeah.
And it's not even.
It's tough.
I have to put myself as an athlete in the best situation that's going to give me the access, the outlets, the amenities for me to be the best version of myself, right? And through that, I've understood this one thing, because the question was posed in many different discussions.
Yeah.
I would say it's time for the TV outlets to give access to HBCUs.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is, if you watching fucking University of Who Gives a Damn versus Georgia, ain't nobody watching that shit anyway.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The Dallas Cowboys, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Washington Redskins has, I would say, some of the best fan support throughout the nation. And it's not because they have the best fans. When you think about the 80s and the early 90s, those were the only teams that was on TV.
Got you.
See what I'm saying? So when you're forced to say, okay, who you going for? My father was like, man, I was just remember watching Roger Staubach, and I really liked him. So I just became a Dallas Cowboys fan. And now he's in his 60s. Now he's like, bro, I'm just using that as an example. But it gives you perspective when you say, why? Because the exposure for a person to say, Bowie State, I don't know about no Bowie State, but hey, I just seen him do a special on ESPN.
Correct. And that
I like
everything.
that. I seen him step.
That's
I seen
everything.
I don't know nothing about Phi Beta Sigmas or the Omega Psi Phi or the AKA. I don't know nothing about that, but I seen it and it was cool.
Yeah.
You know how many people went to HBCUs after the movie Drumline dropped?
I bet it increased.
You see what
I'm sure a different world had impact. And then Drumline had impact.
Right.
Because Drumline gave you that perspective.
Right.
And when you talk about the negatives, to me, that's it. It's the lack of exposure. You if they did use some of that time to showcase some of the rival games. And not just the game, though.
It's so much
show
more.
Show us the HBCU. You said it earlier. Auburn Homecoming is the game.
It's the game.
All right, that's cool. At an HBCU,
Right.
It's more than just the game.
Bro, when I went
so
to...
show us the game.
When I
show
went
us
to
everything.
Central, bro, the game was over.
Yeah, and it was still,
The energy around the after effect, I couldn't tell you what the score of the game was.
The game is an event inside of homecoming. That's what it is. It's not the main. It's homecoming. We there. Oh, y'all going to the game? Yeah, I'm gonna stop by the game, see what's going on.
Stop by.
People gonna stop by. They go, oh, okay, all right. Oh, we lose. All right, we go. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Oh, we gonna stay.
right,
Da da da. They might boom and then hit the tailgate or hit the plots or just because it's your. The thing about homecoming is just like 2-3 days, and you trying to do so much in 2-3 days. So you just stopping by the game.
Man, listen.
And you stopping by the tailgates.
Bro, I was like, my body ain't used to the type of...
Yeah, you was moving.
Like, bro, let's just sit down somewhere. Okay, bro, we're going to stop by here.
And
then we're going to go over here. Then matter of fact, we're going to leave and go to this person. I'm like, bro, I just really want...
Yeah.
I just want to just hang out, you know what I'm saying? Once you hang out, you start seeing, you know what I'm saying, the energy and everybody kind of loading up in some different places. You start seeing everybody migrate to this particular. I'm like, bro, y'all doing too much. But in my honest opinion, I said to myself, I wasn't doing enough.
And that's what it be.
You dig what I'm saying? I think, where you are right now and just what does the future hold for Yard Talking? What would you like to see it go?
Man, I got some in the one thing, man. I've kept my fires in the irons in the fire. So right now, I host and produce my own TV show called HBCU 101, where we sit down with alumni that are household names.
Right.
So I done had your Will Packers, your Keisha Knight Pulliams, Terrence J, Lance Gross, all them have been on the show. But then I also had your influencers and your people that's doing impact. Like my man's Jaron Small that's went to PV and, my man's Berto that went to Morehouse and just these different people working in that space. And so we're looking to continue to further that mission from a linear perspective. But I got a partnership brewing with a foundation.
Right.
I won't get a name.
Correct.
But it's with a foundation where I got this idea of how to give people true insights of what the HBCU is like, from the dorms to the inside the cafeterias, because when you go on a tour, they telling you this, that, and the third. But how can I really give you deeper exposure to really know what is inside of this, that, and the third? And so we're working on developing what that looks like. I'm constantly still working with companies about HBCUs. I did something with Cigna for mental health. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm big on mental health.
Yes, sir.
And so we did something at Howard with Cigna. Just did an activation with Coach at FAMU. Did an interview with Anthony Anderson because he went to Howard, he's graduating. So I'm always finding these different ways to continue to pour into the HBCU community.
So even too, I think this is dope, for you to briefly discuss. How long have you been in Atlanta?
I've been in Atlanta 3 years, man. 2019, Mother's Day weekend,
Wow.
2019.
That's my birthday.
I'll never forget. I moved down here, man. I was working retail, was talking to my manager, and I was like, yo, and he's like, look, you're not gonna have success in TV and everything you're trying to do if you stay in Richmond. Because, a lot of times what happens when you go to an HBCU or when you leave home, that becomes your new home.
It's your comfort zone.
It's your comfort zone, and I'm throwing parties, I'm getting money, it's comfortable. He like, look, man, DC, New York, LA, or Atlanta. And I chose Atlanta. And Fred was like, yo, you ain't the bruhs if you can't crash at somebody's house to get it done or get a job, whatever. Long story short, man, I put my furniture in my storage unit in Richmond. I got a storage unit, put all my furniture there. And when I went to Atlanta, I got a storage unit and just put my clothes in there. And I made it like a walk-in closet. And I told myself that in this world, you either got time or you got money.
You ain't got both.
You ain't got both. Only wealthy people have both. You either gonna use your time to make money or your money to make time. And I said, I always had time, I always had money, but I had no time. So let me not have money and have all the time I need to get to where I wanna be. So I didn't get an apartment. I slept in my car, stayed with friends. I used to shower at LA Fitness. Like it was, I want this So I'm gonna make whatever sacrifice that come with it.
Right.
My mom, my family, didn't nobody really know how I was living because I felt like this was my decision to make and this is what I wanna live with. You don't need to carry that burden. I don't need you to send me no money.
Right.
I don't need you to do nothing. I'm a grown ass man.
Right.
Let me figure this out. And that's what I did, man. And a year and a half later, I got an apartment. It took me, 596 days before I had my own place. And now we look up, I got my own TV show, doing different things with corporations, having this conversation with you, just different things and just taking that ultimate leap of faith when I moved in Atlanta. And it's only been 3 years.
Man, I salute you, bro. Like, for sure, because I see a lot of cats, they get stuck in this, but what if
Yeah.
phase. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, life is really, really about you versus you.
That's it.
It ain't about nobody else. It ain't about your competition, your fictitious or invisible competition that you see on fucking Instagram or Twitter or whatever. It's about you really telling yourself, this is what I want to do. And I go about it. I also was having a conversation with a person that felt so strongly in we all are born with a talent.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit.
Okay.
Because God places things in our heart.
Yep.
And it's up to us
to do it.
to do it.
I say that to people all the time. He put it on you. He put it here.
Right.
What made you different than other quarterbacks was he put it there and you went after it.
Act on it.
And you acted on it. And that's why you are Cam Newton.
Yes, sir.
That the household name that people know because of what you went after. And that's the difference to me between your greats and your averages or your mediocres. You know, those that wish they was entrepreneurs and jumped out there, but they playing it safe and working a 9 to 5.
Correct.
But God put something there.
God speaks to us in many different forms.
Correct.
It's like when you meditate, right? That's why meditation is so key when you're talking about prayer.
Yeah.
Prayer is you talking to God.
Yep.
Meditation is God talking to you. Right? So you sit back and you listen, you hear certain things, and you know, obviously God has not opened up heaven and came down and showed himself or revealed himself yet. So he uses his vessels.
Correct.
He can use anybody.
Yeah.
Right? And have you seen these visions like, bro, I had a dream last night, bro. I was stepping on 1 million, bro. No kizzy, bro. No cat. Like, bro, go do it.
Go do it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Do it.
the great book says faith without work.
Yep.
Faith, right, without work is dead. So you can have all the faith, like, bro, I'm gonna get me. Without actual execution and discipline on that, it's dead.
And I got one to add to that. You know, so when I came to Atlanta, I didn't know what my life would look like. So my grandmother's a pastor.
Okay.
And I called her. I think I was doing an interview with Keisha Knight Pulliam or Will Packer or something. It was before Will. It was with Keisha, but I got invited to the Sean Carter Foundation gala that they had in Hollywood, Florida that year. And I called my grandma and I said, I really want to talk with you every week on a spiritual tip because my life is gonna change. I'm gonna have highs, I'm gonna have lows, but I need to figure out how to stay here.
Yeah.
And I know that the word will keep me there. And so when you talk about faith, there's one scripture that came to mind when you was talking. It's Psalms 20, verse 4. May he give you the desires of your heart and make all your plans succeed.
Yes, sir.
And so when you have faith in that, like, yo, when you tithe, I'm an avid tither.
Yes, sir.
Like I tithe every week. Like whether I made money last week, don't make it, I'm trying to be consistent.
Yes, sir.
Right? And so in that space, I always recall that scripture of, man, I got these big desires. I got these big dreams. Well, he said he gonna get it to me.
Yes, sir.
All I gotta do is just right foot, left foot.
Faith
right
the size
foot.
of a mustard seed.
That's
sir.
it. And that's what we learned too in my fraternity is just having that. And without faith, it's impossible to please God. And so, man, it's just, when you said it, these are the different things that come to me, and that's how you get to A to B and then B to C and then C to D and just keep going on and on.
Right. It's a saying that, you know, how do you eat an elephant? Right? One bite at a time, bro.
That's it.
You dig what I'm saying? Don't look at God. Hey, bro, like this. It's just, bro, one bite at a time.
Because when you said that question, I said, I don't know shit.
You know what I mean? Just
But
one
when
bite
you
at a
break it
time.
down
Like,
like
keep
that,
the main thing, bro. Stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? You know, Martin Luther King has a famous quote that says, if you can't fly, drive. If you can't drive, walk. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But in all, just keep moving.
That's it. And that's ultimately like when you look at your life, you've had to keep moving.
Oh, regardless,
You know,
I'm moving now.
You know, from college to the league, to different teams, to where you at now, and different dreams and ideas that you've had. I'm sure you've had moments where you wanted to give up or you wanted to quit, but then you have these different things that keep you going. And that's just like everybody.
I love it, man. Mr. Thurman, sir, appreciate you. And as we always end things here at Funky Friday, we start at this camera. Then we go to this camera.
Okay.
And then we finish with that camera right there. We're going to do it in unison. We're going to say one finger. One pinky. One thumb. One love. Yes, sir, man. Appreciate your energy, bro.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir, man. One more time before we end it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
End this out the right way. The right way. The yard way.
The yard way.
Matter of fact, use that one right there. Take us out of here.
Just take us out of here.
Take us out of here.
And that's it for today's episode of Funky Friday. It's been your boy, Jaleel, and I was here with my man, Mr. Cam Newton, and we gave y'all the scope on all that. From faith to God to the HBCU experience and what you can expect more. Yo, y'all stay tuned, y'all sit back, y'all relax, and y'all see us when y'all see us. Peace.
I like that. You smooth, bro.
Nah, you smooth.
Smooth.
You know what I'm saying?
Smooth. Appreciate that, man. We got it.